Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Luqman bin Azmi, 2025-227-396, and I'll present to you the topic of science.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Hafiz bin Mazlan, 2025-483594, and I will present about the history of science.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Ashir Zakwan, 2025-430-212, and I'll be presenting topic 3, which is epistemology.
And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Irfan bin Muhammad Kamar Zaid, 2025-421-032, and I will present to you guys the 4 branches of philosophy.
And we are from RCS
2481A.
Introduction to Science. Science is a field of knowledge that is based on systematic observation and experimentation. It focuses on understanding natural phenomena and explaining the law that govern the universe. Unlike technology, which seeks solution to practical problem, science aims to answer the fundamental question of why phenomena occur. Through curiosity and careful observation of the natural world, scientific inquiry begins, leading to the development of theory and law that explain events ranging from everyday occurrence to complex global issues such as climate change and disease outbreak. A clear distinction exists between science and technology. Science is concerned with discovering knowledge and explaining natural phenomena, whereas technology applies scientific knowledge to solve practical problems. Historically, technology existed long before formal scientific knowledge. Early human development tools, fire and basic transportation without understanding scientific principle. However, modern technology depends heavily on scientific theories. Technology without scientific understanding become outdated and unsustainable, while science provided the foundation for technological advancement. The development of science experienced a major shift with the introduction of the scientific method. Early Greek science relied heavily on deduction without experimentation, which is limited its progress. In contrast, Muslim scientists introduced an inductive approach based on observation and experimentation. This method involved asking questions, proposing the hypothesis, conducting experiment or observation, analyzing the result, and forming theories or law. The scientific method ensures that knowledge is tested, repeatable, and open to verification or rejection by others. Two important reasoning methods in science are induction and deduction. Induction involves forming general conclusions from specific observation. For example, by observing that various metals expand when heated, scientists conclude that all metals expand when heated. Deduction, on the other hand, begins with a general law that and predict specific outcome. Both methods work together in scientific inquiry, allowing scientists to test theories and refine knowledge. Scientific knowledge, however, is not absolute. The truth in science is provisional and subject to change. A theory is accepted as long as it successfully explains phenomena and remains useful. Over time, new evidence may challenge existing theories, leading to refinement or replacement. This self-correcting nature is one of the strengths of science, allowing continuous improvement in understanding the natural world.
The history of science. What is the concept of history? History is the study of past events that help us understand how knowledge has developed over time. In science, history is important because it shows how scientific ideas change, improve, or are corrected. Scientific knowledge does not appear suddenly. Instead, it grows step by step through observation, thinking, and experimentation. By studying the history of science, we can understand why people believe certain ideas in the past and how new discoveries replace old beliefs. The scientific revolution. The scientific revolution happened around the 16th century and brought major change to science. During this period, scientists began to question all ideas and use observation and experiments. One important figure was Nicolaus Copernicus, who introduced the heliocentric model, where the sun is at the center of universe. And later, Galileo Galilei used a telescope to observe the sky and found evidence that challenged Aristotelian science. These discoveries showed that scientific knowledge should be based on evidence and not authority. Aristotelian science. Aristotelian science was introduced by Aristotle and influenced scientific thinking for about 2000 years. According to Aristotle, the earth was the center of the universe, and this idea is called the geocentric model. He believed that the earth did not move, while the sun, moon and planets move around it. Aristotle also divided the universe into two parts: the sublunar world, which is the earth and everything below the moon, and the superlunar world, which includes the moon, stars and planets. In his view, everything in the sky was perfect and unchanging, while things on the earth could change and decay. At that time, people accepted Aristotle's ideas without questioning because observation tools were very limited. The point of Newtonian worldview and the new science. The scientific revolution led to the rise of the Newtonian worldview. Introduced by Isaac Newton, Newton explained motion and gravity using mathematical laws. He showed that the same laws apply both on Earth and space. According to Newtonian science, the universe works like a machine that follows natural laws. This idea helped science grow rapidly and became the foundation of modern physics. People began to believe that nature could be understood and explained through experiment and calculations. The last part of my topic is Islamic science. Islamic science played an important role in the development of scientific knowledge. Muslim scholars translate Greek scientific works into Arabic and improve them through observation and experimentation. Scientists such as Ibn al-Haytham emphasized the importance of experiments and evidence. Islamic science also applied knowledge to daily life, such as determining prayer times, the direction of Qiblah and calendar system. Many scientific ideas from the Islamic world were later transferred to Europe and influenced the scientific revolution.
Assalamualaikum. Epistemology, the concept of knowledge from an Islamic perspective, is heavily drawn by the work of Syed Muhammad Nakib Al-Atas. It defines knowledge not merely as information, but as the arrival of meaning in the soul and the soul arrival at meaning. Definition of knowledge, ilmu, is derived from the root word for sign, alamat, suggesting that the word is full of sign meant to be understood. It is distinct from information. Meaning. The concept of meaning is defined as the recognition of the proper place of anything in a system. In this context, the system refers to an Islamic worldview as projected by the Quran. The human self, nafsi. Knowledge resides in the spiritual self, nafsi, soul or heart, rather than the physical brain. Unlike animal or computer, only human possess the rational soul capable of receiving true knowledge. Now, we will talk about the duality of knowledge. Usul and Usul. Usul. Soul arrival at meaning. This represents the active human effort. It is compared to a person using a pole, wasilah, to reach for a coconut. It involves studying, observing, and preparing the self. While the other one, Husul, arrival of meaning in the soul. This is the receptive aspect where meaning is granted by God. Just as the coconut is falling, is ultimately due to gravity or natural law. The falling of understanding into the heart is a gift of the divine grace, rahmat. There are 4 sources and method to gain knowledge. Number 1 is senses. Include both 5 external sense, sight, hearing, touch, etc. and other 5 internal sense, common sense, imagination, estimation, etc. that process data into form and meaning. Number 2 is sound reason. The ability to draw correct conclusion from premises. It warns that common practices do not necessarily equate to truth. Number 3 is true report. This includes absolute truth from revelation and non-absolute truth, such as scientific consensus or historical report from reliable source. Number 4 is intuition. In Arabic is ilham, a gift from God that vary in degree from scientific discovery to the highest form experienced by prophet. There are 3 things that I want to talk about right now: scientific knowledge, gnosis, and wisdom. Scientific knowledge is acquired knowledge, or in other words, fardu kifayah. Gnosis is a religious knowledge of fardu ain, often given as a gift to those close to God. And lastly, wisdom, which is the combination of both science and gnostic knowledge. Wisdom is described as knowing the limit of scientific application to ensure it remains beneficial and do not cause any harm.
Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. This part of the presentation, I will explain to you guys topic 4, which is the 4 branches of philosophy, namely ontology, epistemology, axiology, and logic, and how they relate to the philosophy of science. First, ontology, also known as metaphysics. It refers to the study of reality and existence. Ontology asks fundamental questions such as what truly exists, what is real, what lies beyond physical appearance. According to the philosophy of science, science is limited in answering metaphysical questions because this question cannot be proven through senses, experiment, or observation. For example, questions like does God exist, do angels exist, what is the soul, cannot be answered by science. Science does study causality, which is the relationship between cause and effect, such as medicine causing healing or fire causing burning. However, Imam Al-Ghazali emphasized that causes do not act independently. Fire burn and medicine heal only by Allah's permission. Therefore, ontology reminds us that science explains how things happen, but not the ultimate reality behind them. The second branch is epistemology, which is the theory of knowledge. Epistemology discusses what knowledge is, how we obtain knowledge, and the limits of the knowledge. According to the notes, the 4 sources of the knowledge are: first, sound senses; 2, sound reason; 3, true report; and 4, intuition. Scientific knowledge is described as limited and superficial because science only studies observable phenomena, not absolute reality. Therefore, scientific truth is probable, not absolute. Al-Atas compares science to a person who stopped at Simpang Renggam while trying to reach Johor Bahru, meaning that people may become fascinated with science and forget its true purpose, which is to lead human to closer to Allah. Science is useful, but only when its limits are recognized. The third branch is axiology, which is the study of value, such as good and bad, right and wrong, and beauty. Axiology explains that science doesn't judge moral value. For example, science can explain how an atomic bomb works, but it does not decide whether using it is morally right or wrong. Similarly, science doesn't determine whether abortion or certain lifestyle are morally acceptable. These values based on question belong to religion and philosophy, not science. Therefore, axiology highlight that scientific advancements must be guided by moral and ethical value, not treated as value neutral. And the fourth branch is logic, which focus on reasoning and thinking correctly. One important logical principle discussed is Occam razor, which states that the simplest explanation is usually the best as long as it explains the phenomenon adequately. In science, simple theories are preferred because they are more testable and practical. Another example is the Socratic method, introduced by Socrates, which emphasizes question and answer as a way to seek truth. Instead of giving direct answer, Socrates encouraged critical thinking by asking questions that challenge assumption. This method trains individuals to think deeply rather than accept information blindly.
Are you down for this? Baby, you're in the mood. We can take it to the moon.
To wrap things up, let's summarize what we learned starting with Chapter 1. We define science as knowledge based on observation and experimentation that seeks to answer why phenomena occur. Unlike technology, which focuses on how to solve problems, science builds theory and law through the scientific method, starting with a question, forming a hypothesis, and testing it through observation.
Building on that, chapter 2 showed us how scientific paradigm have shifted over time. For over 2000 years, the West followed Aristotle's conceptive view, which lacked experimental proof and separated the perfect unchanging heavens from our imperfect changing earth. It was Muslim scientists who revolutionized this by introducing the induction method using observation, experimentation to reach general conclusions.
In conclusion, for this chapter, chapter 3 took us deeper into the epistemology, the theory of knowledge. We explore Al-Atas definition knowledge is both the arrival of the soul at meaning and the arrival of meaning in the soul. This highlight that while we must actively strive to learn through understanding and success, the husul is the ultimately a gift from the Creator, God.
And finally, chapter 4 on philosophy reminds us that while science studies physical cause and effect, it cannot answer ultimate metaphysical question about the soul or the afterlife. From an Islamic perspective, what we call laws of nature are actually Allah's customary way of acting, which is remain flexible to His will as seen in miracles.
In conclusion, this chapter shows that true wisdom comes from recognizing the limits of human science and acknowledging that while we are responsible for our effort, the ultimate result and truth and lie with Allah. That's all from us. Thank you.